Share with you a verse from the Tao Te Ching that has many layers. Actually, this is true for all the verses in the Tao Te Ching. You could spend a lifetime with one verse and continue to swim more deeply and deeply into it, from the very mundane, practical aspects of our lives in the world to the most expansive, enlightened perspectives. All of it can be found, again, within layers. And so, one of the verses that I'd like to talk about today is a verse that I find is almost a direct line into that more enlightened cosmic awareness. Now, this may not seem very practical because, let's face it, we all have to pay our bills, we all have to be able to provide for ourselves and our families. We have all these very ordinary or extraordinary, but nevertheless out in the world things we have to do. So it may not seem profitable in a way to do these deep dive explorations into a realm that really takes us beyond our material, physical existence, human existence. So if that's the case for you, if you're like, no, I don't have any time for that, that's fine. But if it feels like, yes, you would like to spend some time really diving deeply or rising higher, then just listen to this verse and we'll talk about it. Without opening your door, you can open your heart to the world. And by the way, this is verse 47 in the Stephen Mitchell translation of the Tao Te Ching. Without opening your door, you can open your heart to the world. So this is actually the very opposite of going out into the world. Without opening your door, it's like, no, don't go out. Stay inside yourself. And there you can open your heart to the world. Because let's face it, it can be very challenging to open our heart to the world that we see outside, which seems full of conflict, full of hate, full of violence, full of war, full of all sorts of divisions and conflicts. And so when we look outside, it can be hard to find something to open our hearts to. So this line, without opening your door, you can open your heart to the world. So it's like, if we turn our attention inside, and the world, really, we have a world inside ourselves. For everything that's going on out there, we can probably find a reflection of that within ourselves. Even the struggles, even the conflicts, even the battles. Often we are in a kind of war within ourselves. So to turn our attention inward and to open our hearts to all the parts of ourselves is like opening our heart to the world. Without opening your door, you can open your heart to the world. So just take a moment and maybe close your eyes and turn your attention inward and focus on your heart. You can open your heart to the world. And what would it be like to open your heart to yourself? To all the parts of yourself, even the parts that you cringe, that make you cringe, or that you try to deny, or that you turn away from, or judge as wrong, or criticize, or feel yucky about. And just to be present and open your heart. Because this is really what this verse is asking us to do. It's to open our hearts, whether it's to our inner world, and if we can do that, then ultimately we can do it to the external world as well. So without opening your door, you can open your heart to the world. Without looking out your window, you can see the essence of the Tao. Now the word Tao, we can use all sorts of other words for it. You can see the essence of unconditional love, for instance. Without looking out your window, instead of looking out there, don't do that. You can see the essence of the Tao. And once again, it means turning inside, turning our attention inward, and finding within ourselves the essence of, again, we can use that word unconditional love. What does that even mean? Most of us have no idea, or it's some kind of a standard that we can hardly even imagine. And yet there's something in those words that we feel. Another word for the Tao could be transcending beyond opposites. Without looking out your window, you can see the essence of these seemingly too good to be true energies, vibrations, whatever you want to call them, qualities. And yet without looking out our window, in other words, these are within ourselves. We can see the essence. Listen to this. The more you know, the less you understand. So it's like the more head knowledge we have, the more we have opinions, the more we think we're right, the more we espouse certain platforms of opinions and beliefs, the less you understand. Isn't that interesting? Because the first verse talks about opening our heart. And this is talking about how the more you know, the less you understand. So once again, it's like, not the mind. The mind has its job, for sure. But this is talking about going into our greater intelligence, which is actually within our heart. It's not about knowing. It's not about head knowledge. It's about finding the source of deeper understanding. The master arrives without leaving, sees the light without looking, achieves without doing a thing. Many of the verses in the Tao Te Ching seem very contradictory. So we really have to dig deep to begin to find a pathway of understanding. The master arrives without leaving. So this is, again, like turning inward. It's almost, these are really meditation instructions. Arrive means we just go inside and we open to this vast inner world. We don't have to go out the door. We don't have to open our door. We don't even have to look out the window. We have to go within. The master arrives without leaving, sees the light without looking, because the light is actually inside of ourselves. But we have to find it. And sometimes that can take a while. Sometimes we have to be very still and very committed to not just going into our minds and going back to all that head knowledge. We have to be committed to opening to the light, to opening to our heart. Achieves without doing a thing. So once again, it's like we go in, we become still, we become open, we become present to our heart. And if and when we can begin to experience that greater expansiveness, perhaps that sense of a more unconditional love, a sense of transcending that which divides us, even within ourselves, that is the ultimate achievement. And that's one we can actually take out into the world and make a real difference. So thanks very much, and I look forward to seeing you soon.